Um, what I want you to do is give me a name. Grace had sit down and talked about she wanted some things from when you first arrived at Spelman up till the time you graduated. Talk a little bit about the civil rights period, your best times there, who influenced you to be who you are today, and I'll let you go from there.
See what I can do.
Okay?
All right. You ready?
Yes, ma'am.
My name is Diane Steverson Roberson. I'm from Atlanta. I was a Grady baby. 1946.
You wear it well.
And I went to Atlanta Public Schools, and some of my best teachers were people who went to Spelman. So I think that helped me decide that I wanted to go to Spelman. And most of them, of course, picked me, and they wanted me to go to Spelman, so it sort of helped me get some things so that I could go to Spelman. I enjoyed all of my time. I lived off campus for 2 years because I couldn't afford to live on campus anyway. And it was a requirement at that time, so I did have to stay on campus one year. And I chose to go on my junior year so that if I wanted to go to parties next year, I could do that, which was not a good reason, but that was my reason. And of course, living on campus is life. And until you live on campus, on college life, you don't really live. It was just the most wonderful experience in the world for me.
You know what?
Well, I knew how to be sort of independent, but I had to really be independent about whatever I was going to do every day, and to organize my life. I'm having it, that's where you got to do your homework, you got to do this and do it, So it really helped me to organize my own life and manage stuff I needed to do. Sometimes I think I learned it well, but sometimes I have. Living on campus that junior year broke my heart at the end of the year because I just loved campus life. During the summer, I got a phone call from Spelman, and they asked if I would be a junior counselor in the resident hall, and I was just so elated I could have blown the house up. Yes. So I had a chance to work and live on campus
Again,
another year. I was so happy. And I was going to live in Abbey, which is the best dorm anyway. They thought Manly was best, but it wasn't. And I just loved it. It was just the best job and the best year of my life. However, that same year, when Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. was killed, I was on campus then. And my position as a helper, we had a lot of things going on because it was the whole United States of America was in mourning. And of course, we were in mourning. I'll never, ever forget. I had just met a person who was working on campus, and we were going to a movie that night. He had picked me up, and we had just left the campus, and he got a call. He said, "You got to come back to the campus because something's happened." And we didn't know what it was, so of course we came right back to the campus. And that's when Dr. Martin Luther King was killed. So everybody was just trying to figure out. We didn't know what to do. But we started whatever it was that we needed to do. And I'll never forget, and I don't even remember where he is or if I ever saw him ever again. It was
That
just
one
that
night.
that one. It was just an experience that I'll never forget. I still remember the day they brought his body to Sister's Chapel. When they brought the body, something was wrong, and his wife didn't like what it was, so they had already set the schedule up so that they could start viewing the body.
Mm-hmm.
When she looked at him, something wasn't right. I don't know if it was clothes or whatever it was, but they had to take him back and redo something. So that meant time was even longer. We had to wait. Well, that means that the viewing started late. There were thousands of people already in line to view his body, but they had to wait until he was in position to be viewed.
That's the first time I ever heard that.
Well, now you've heard it. We watched people in line. I had a friend who lived in the dorm where the dining room was. I can't even remember, that's where I lived the first year. Morgan. I remember going up to her room, and the way the people came from the Greens Ferry, came all the way around the campus, and you could just hear feet shuffling all through the night. Just people in line waiting to go and view the body. I'll never forget it. It's just like yesterday when I think about it. Just feet just going to go and view the body. We finally got to go view the body about probably 2 o'clock in the morning, because the line had finally gone down. A lot of people weren't sleeping anyway, so it didn't matter. But that's that's what I remember more than anything else
On campus.
on campus, when they brought his body to Sister's Chapel. I also remember doing a few things, because things were all organized so that people who were coming for the funeral,
Mm-hmm.
I remember they asked for volunteers and I signed up to go. And I remember going to Ebenezer. I went to the airport, and when I went to the airport, evidently had lists of people who needed to get to Ebenezer. Somebody had rented a car, and he said, well, look, I don't know, he and his family, I don't know how to get to Ebenezer. Can't you just drive us there? I have a car. I said, yeah. So I just drove him. I said, this was so exciting. But it was a bad time, but it was a good time, because there were people from everywhere, all over the airport. I was just so happy that people cared, and we saw Black people really working together.
Now, to look at that, to hear that, to look at Atlanta today, what the hell has changed?
Well, a whole lot. And then there are a lot of things that are the same. When I woke up this morning, well, I live in Fayetteville, so I couldn't vote for anybody to be the mayor.
Mm-hmm.
And last night when I came back from chime rehearsal, I was tired, and I didn't care who was going to win. because I couldn't do anything about it. So I watched a Christmas movie like I always do. And tried to get some other things done, get some things done that I needed to do. And I looked at the movie, and this morning when I woke up, I turned the TV on so that I could see what the weather was going to really be like. And I said, she won. A black woman, again, won to be the mayor for Atlanta. I said, that's good. I said, but they're going to have a recount. I said, well, that's good. At least we can work together when we try.
But, you know, it's almost like saying, we work together to win the election. And at the end of the election, ain't nothing done.
I was just reading my scriptures this morning.
And
it was about either you are part of God or you are not. You're his son or you are not. And it was about you have to love people. And if you don't love people, it's because you're not a person of God. Because if you love God, you're going to have to love his people. And
God
you
is
got to
love.
love those who are not lovely. You have to love them too. That's how you can tell God's people from other people. And I was thinking about a lady, one of my friends, and I think she doesn't love her sister doesn't love her. And I think about my mother, she had a sister, and they never, ever seemed to have loved each other. So how can we have two Christian people not loving each other?
it's like, how can you not love me and I can see you every day, but you love God that you never seen?
That's right.
But God is a spirit.
He is.
We are God's if we show his ways. But we have a hard time doing that.
If his seed is not in you, then that's why.
Well, let's go back.
You have to water it a little, I guess, to help make it
Let's
grow.
go back. Let's go back to this. Now, I'm looking at you now, and I'm thinking about 50 years back. Now, I'm looking at this right here. All these women calling on all this harassment. What's going on? How is it that?
Nothing new. It's
Nah.
been like that all the time. I've had principals all of the years that I taught school. I had only one who approached me in the wrong way, and I put him in his place. He respected me until he died, and I respected him until he died.
But what about all these ones coming out of the woodworks 20 years later? Is all this necessary?
But I know that same person, every day we heard an announcement. Miss, will you come by the office before you leave today? And she was in the room with me. She said, I knew that she was a beautiful lady. And she hadn't gotten her certification done. So, and we knew what was going on.
She's paying her dividends.
And I just hated it, and there was just nothing I could do to help her. And that hurt me. But nowadays, it would be a different story. I think women have to assume some responsibility. And men have to be put in their place sometimes. I know there are some people who are going to go beyond, but there just has to be an ending somewhere.
All right, now, if we go to the Bible, and you see this king overlooking the roof, he looked down, he see this woman taking a bath, I gotta have her.
She was looking up and said, oh, that's the king. And he is one, a handsome little guy. I really like him. Okay.
So at the end of the day, at the end of the day, she sent a message by the king to the king, say, I'm pregnant.
Well, that's because he had invited her over and she came.
But she was married.
I know, she was neighbor, and you should be neighborly.
Now, if that happened, well, you take it a little step further than that. Well, you know, you can't have this baby. You got to make sure that's your husband's baby. So the husband came. He wouldn't even go home.
That's right. And he told her, say, I'm gonna let him come home so it'll look like it was his baby.
So
Trying to cover it up.
So that didn't happen. So he said, well, look, we're going to send him back in the front line. All right? So if it's been going on that long.
It was going before that.
Well, I guess that's as close as I can remember.
Oh,
The first
okay.
time I been reading.
Okay.
Okay?
You just still. Okay.
All right? So, how do you change it?
You know,
How do we put it in perspective?
we do what we know is right and live by and here it is, truth.
Now we...
Truth is, it has the answer all the time, but we don't want to hear the truth. We like lies. Because lies are more comfortable, we can manage, and it's...
That's almost like saying, I can be knowing you for 20 years. We could be friends, everything perfect, fine. But when you do something wrong, that's the only thing I'm going to remember.
That's right. And that's bad. That's why we have God. And he sent Jesus because he knew we were going to be stupid like that. And he said, I'm going to forgive you for all of this. My blood is going to cover up all of this. Now, if you really commit yourself to me, I'll guide you, and I'll teach you, and I'll be in you and guide you every day. You're going to have hard times.
That temptation.
You're going to have good times and bad times like everybody else. That's why God sent Jesus. Jesus came. He was the example. He said, I'm leaving, I gotta go. But I'm gonna send you the Holy Spirit. And he can live in you and guide you and teach you to all truth. And see, that's where the problem is. That's the problem in the world right now, truth. And then some people say, well, it's your truth. There is no truth. It doesn't belong to anybody. It's just like air.
It is, I guess it's truth and right and wrong.
Yeah.
But we look at the gray areas.
Well, right and wrong. Yeah. We have some gray areas. My husband and I have a good conversation about it sometimes. Yeah, it's just you and your truth. No, your truth stands by itself. It doesn't even need me. If I'm dead and gone, this is still going to be the same. Truth. Up on the
It don't
scalpel.
change.
Up on the scalpel. And eventually it's going to win.
What would you like to say in closing?
Jesus is the answer. And I don't understand why they changed Jesus is Lord from Spellman's our theme. It's about Jesus. And it still is about Jesus. Whatever, if it's not about him, it's really not about anything.
No substance.
That's the way life is.
And on that note, I'll say thank you.
And thank you so much for a wonderful interview.
God is good.
All the time.